Hello everyone, I am Dr. Eric Morrison. This is 7 Under 3, and I'll be covering trading education, more specifically Forex trading, using the TC2000 and TradingView platforms. Hello, this is the stock indice review for the week from the 8th to the 12th of May, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with overall market conditions. Now what I have is, I'm going to go over all the stock picks for this week and the profit and losses. But what I wanted to do is show you that there is a way just to trade once a day in the mornings and in the afternoons instead of watching the stocks all day as far as the charts are concerned. So you have this here if you join our educational courses below. But for the most part, I am going to cover the individual trades. And we have our follow money indicator, momentum indicator, and of course our crowded out or COT indicators going forward. So starting with the VIX, looks like it is poised to go long, but we haven't had an indicator yet to go long. From last week we did, and had a good overall trade for either the SVIXY or UVIXY. Overall 20-year government bonds, we're looking at just this kind of channel that it's currently trading in with, but we did have a good overall trade on Wednesday and Thursday. Russell overall is in this super pinch. It's got every major thing, so something's going to pop, and more than likely with this huge dumpling top over here, it's going to be to the downside. But we'll see. But we'll let the market dictate which direction that we're going to go into. If it goes short, that's fine. If it goes long, it's fine. We'll follow the indices either short or long. Doesn't matter. But we have to have the following conditions in place, and that's we have to know where the money is going into each day, and we also need to know where the commitmented traders are on the large institutional and commercial traders are at. I do have retail traders in here too as well, but for the most part I focus on the institutional and commercial traders. SPX, one thing to note, we are crowded out on the short side, so we're looking for long entries on the follow the money. There was a good overall trade here on the futures between Friday and Monday. NASDAQ too as well. Just no crowding out as far as overall crowds with the NASDAQ and the dollar, but there were some opportunities on the follow the money per each day. Dow, same thing, just standard balance of commercial and institutional traders. Did have an opportunity here on Monday for a trade and continue to go down. So the SDow, as it's going down like that, might have some opportunities, and we'll check that out in a little bit. Natural gas, of course, had a crowd out trade here, a nice up day, and now according to the futures we are looking poised to open up with Boyle here on Friday. Nice overall crowding here, not over 70%, but a significant move to the upside for natural gas. Dollar's been shooting up and basically is at its current 0.382, and also its Z3 with its point figure target up here. We do need to be cognizant of that. Currently there was a good trade here with the dollar and also a great trade here with the dollar, and closed out on Friday. Treasuries, looking at the 2-year, had a good trade as far as the treasury concerned. 5-year, same thing. 10-year, also a great trade here. Great trade last week from 2nd to the 3rd. Russell had an overall kind of break-even trade here. Interesting trade on Russell to the upside here, and we'll see in terms of futures how that played out. And the overall stock indices. Gold is now crowded out down, and as you can see, we have 79% of the institutional traders or hedge fund managers to the long side. So there was a short indication here, out here, short indication here, and out here. Right, now a little bit less than break even here. Picked it back up here. We'll see how it goes on the overall indices in terms of timing. S&P 500 is crowded out short, so we're looking for long trades. Here was an interesting trade, a little bit break even on futures, and then also a little bit less than break even on Thursday. NASDAQ, a little bit better than break even here on the long side from Friday to Monday, and then from Wednesday, Thursday, nice overall trade. Hits the Z3 and Z3 excursion, then bounce right off of it. Dow's a little bit weaker, less than break even on this trade, and then continue to go to the downside. We aren't significantly crowded out on the short side here for the Dow. It is a lot weaker though. For silver, on the silver indice, we did have a trade to the long side. It's not significantly crowded out on the long side, but came and stopped us out at break even. No further trade the rest of the week. Berts, we're in a trade for the weekend. Had a first signal here. This is FANG inverse. Bitcoin short, no indication to go long. Bitcoin, so no money and no significant direction or money flow in Bitcoin right now. Bank D is another story. It's the big banks to the downside. And a nice overall trade here. This was a zero trade, but this one was an overall profitable trade, and we're now in a long trade over the weekend. Follow money still has it going to the upside. Previous week we had a beautiful trade here and here to the long side, and it also gapped up, but we were out at this particular thing because of the overall indication of a red bar for follow the money. No trades for Bank U, Boyle. As I said before, we're in a trade. We have some nice potential to the upside. We got Z3 excursion up here at 412. See if it can continue to go to the upside. Bull Z, nice overall trade. Monday we had overall trade a little bit less, opened at a little bit less than the close, so I moved my stop down to the low, and it closed up with a nice $710 gain here. Copper, an overall loss of 400. Here we had an initial indication to go long. This was Thursday of last week, and Friday, nice overall gain, better $700, but this one was a $400 loss. Here, no overall trades. It's over 100, so I'm looking to see not much volume going into it. So as soon as the volume goes under 50,000, I don't tend to trade it because the spreads start to get too long. No trade for DPST. DRIP, overall trade on Thursday. This was a zero trade. Opened up high and then came back, stopped me out on a no-risk trade. Here, the trade stayed in it and did not come back down to close the gap, and closed higher for $400 gain. DRN, no trade. DRV, we had a significant trade at the end of the week. Didn't close below the stop of the low for the candle, but closed in between, so got out. No significant momentum to the upside. What we are waiting for is momentum in terms of the money and price to money, and then the commitment of traders too. We will also look at that. So Dust had an overall beautiful gain here. The trade started on Wednesday and ended on Friday. Nice overall $740 gain. FAS on Monday, nice $420 gain. FAS, good over $130 gain, and then for the weekend, we did have an overall gain for last week. It was nice overall gain and pick, and it was closed out at that point. No overall buy here because our money commitment is not to the upside. Nothing for FNGD except for a buy entry here on Friday. We'll see how that goes. FNGU, beautiful trades. We had one on Friday, overall gain, closed out, beautiful $4,830 gain. And then same thing happened on Wednesday, beautiful $3,080 gain here for Thursday close. GDXD closed out overall, nice overall gain of $510. And what I did was I followed gold to the short side. So GDXD was crowded out to the long side. So this is gold miners short. Initial indication was here. Nice overall gain, and then a closeout on Friday. So I'm tying overall miners to gold. So as you can see, the crowding out is on gold to the upside at almost 80%. So this was a nice follow through on gold miners down to the upside. First indication was on Wednesday, closed out on Friday. So for the same for GDXU, had an initial trade here, was a zero trade, gapped up, came at, stopped out at break even. So gold miners, same thing. And then with GLL, which is ultra short gold, and then UGA as well. Overall buy here on Thursday to the downside. Nice overall profit of $100. Nothing on Gush, nothing on Hibble. HibS had an interesting trade here on Wednesday. for 100, and now we're currently in a trade for over the weekend. JDST, nice overall trade, $490 from Wednesday to Friday. The same thing for miners, 2 times the shares if you wanted to lower your risk. This is bear, so everything is crowded out to the long side. It means you go short, and what we have here is miners indication on Wednesday, closed out on Friday. Nice overall gain. Same with gold. We currently have pretty much, it's crowded out to the short side, but it's not over 70%, so standard trend trading. And we follow the money where it's going. But currently, no significant crowding out yet. LabD, no trade. LabView, we did have 1 trade. Overall, on Wednesday, nice overall trade, closed out with $300 gain. Nail, no trade. Cocoa, we had 2 trades going forward. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 trade going forward. And that was for $230 on Wednesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. Retail, no trade. Oh, I'm sorry, SCO, no trade there. SDOW, we did have a couple of trades. Trade here, and now I'm currently in the market for over the weekend. Good $530 gain from Wednesday to Thursday. SJB, still currently in that trade for over the weekend. Not much. We got 618, we got R270, Z3. Not much more to the upside, but if it pops up above it, I'm going to go ahead and get out for this trade that was initiated on Thursday. SOXL, no trade. Did have a trade for SOXS, or semiconductor short, closed out with about a $30 gain. SPPP, which is your palladium trust, nice overall trade from Thursday to Friday. That was stayed in till Monday, was closed out. Overall gain was $640. Then there was another trade for $110 before it started turning over. Right now, currently crowded out short at above 80%. So these long trades were a nice squeeze to the institutional traders. SPXL and SPXS, no trades. We do have a trade that's opened up for Friday. Same with XPSU. We had an overall gain on this day and then back into this trade. Overall crowded out short for SP, the short side, mainly going long, but this is a short indice. Quick pop here, and we'll see what happens on Monday. Currently in SQQQ for a trade. No trade the week, but there was a trade on Friday. Indication. No crowding out either way. Initial trade on SRS, which is real estate short. And what you see here is an overall loss for at $70. SRTY, beautiful gain here, 1,280. Initial gain was out at the end of the day. Initial trade for the weekend started here. We got a crowding out in the high 60s, but you know, it's not really crowded out until it gets above 70%. But overall flow of the money was to the upside to crowd out those longs. Went into the direction of the shorts. So we didn't have an indication here. Nice overall trade, and then we'll see what this happens on Monday. SFIXI, no trade. TBT, we had a loss here. Initial trade on the 9th on Wednesday. Opened up way below the low, closed out. In another trade here on Friday. Loss of $340. TBX, same thing on this trade. Now currently in a trade that started on the 11th, and we'll see what happens on Monday. T-Cell, a couple losses here. The most significant one was this one that's crowded out on the long or low here at our last bit stop. So we had a $1,120 loss for the week. This was initial trade here, but closed lower, about a $100 loss. And this one was the biggest loss that hit the low of the actual candle. Same thing with Tech S, overall loss on the open. This one didn't tap us out. This was a $570 loss. This was a $70 gain. Overall $500 loss for the week for Tech S. TMF, no trade. And TNA, no trade. TQQQ, a couple of trades here. Initial trade here for a nice gain, $230. This was an open above, so I usually put my stop at the open at the break-even point, and it closed out for a no-win trade, or a no-lose trade. It's always good to not lose or lose less here in this case. TYD, it's 10-year treasuries. Beautiful overall gain of $370 from Wednesday to Thursday. TOIO, which is the 10-year. Overall loss here. I'm still in the trade going up forward as far as the treasuries go. Yeah, we'll see what the gain is on Monday. I lost $160 on TYO for this trade. We'll see what happens on Monday. Get it all back. TZA, initial entry here. Nice overall cover here. Gain for TZA was $780, currently in a trade over the weekend. Overall loss for UCO was $310. UDow, no trade. UGL, overall loss on UGL, which is Ultra Gold. Overall crowding out on this report, I'm looking at all the stock funds to see which is the most profitable, but we currently have it at 80% in terms of the short side, but this volatility is nice going forward in either direction to find out whether or not gold will shoot back up or shoot back down. We did have an overall loss on Ultra Gold of $670. UPRO, overall gain of $50 on Monday, pretty much consolidating over the week, and we are crowded out at 74% to the short side, so looking at longs. Overall consolidation too for the Russell 2000 on URTY. This was Friday, came back down, stopped me out for a zero trade, no further trade the rest of the week. UVX was last week, but no trades this week. We had an initial trade last week and closed out on Thursday. So there was an initial trade for wheat on Wednesday, and we had an overall loss of $90. It closed out on the low. WebL, initial trade here, a loss of $70. No further trade the rest of the week. Same here for WebS. We do have a trade open on WebS for Monday. Nice overall trade and flow of the money into that particular indice for Friday. We'll see what happens on Monday. XLP, which is your consumer staples, on Monday we had a loss of $230. And then Yang is China Bear. No trade this week on China Bear. And then ZSL had an amazing trade, which is ultra short silver. Initial trade happened for silver. No real crowding out on the long side, but initial trade indicated here, the long side, and closed out on Friday for an overall gain of $1,960. This was a beautiful trade. We did have a trade this week, closed up, and then closed out for a break-even trade here. So these are all the trades for Monday. We have Bank D, HIB-S, SDOW, Boyle, FAS, SCO, SRTY, TBT, TZA, Berks, FNGD, SJB, which is the high yield, SPXS, SPXU, which is the same thing, S&P to the downside, SQQQ to the downside, or the NASDAQ to the downside, TBX, potentially close out that trade, TYO, and WebS. Anticipating a down week for next week. For all the trades that we did and covered for this week, overall profit for the entire week on 1,000 shares for each one was $12,360. Good overall trading. We'll see how we do next week. Initial gain on Monday was $6,500. Loss on Tuesday of $30. Loss on Wednesday of $1,950. Gain on Thursday of $3,190, and a gain on Friday for $4,600. So nice overall play for the week. If you're interested in these kind of strategies going forward and programming in both PineScript and Python, click on the links below. And remember, ruthless risk management. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you on Monday. Well, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like rumble button below and the subscribe button. And if you want more information, go ahead and click the course information links below. On the TradingView link and on TC2000, I have an affiliate link. If you open up a TC2000 account, you will receive a $25 discount using that link. Thank you for your time.